is Miranda Chancellor, and I will be discussing the topic of major depressive disorder, also known as depression. Woody Allen, Ernest Hemingway, Janet Jackson, Beyonce, and Isaac Newton, all famous individuals with different walks of life, but yet the one thing that they have in common is that they all dealt with depression. This illness can strike a average teenager to world-renowned superstar, regardless of their day-to-day lives. My own personal experience, by the time I was 16, I felt this weird feeling of not knowing exactly what I was feeling. I was unhappy, not knowing why. Until later on this year, I met a friend and she herself was diagnosed with depression, and she told me that she felt the same way. So today, me, myself, and probably you guys that are not also coming with this illness, I will be discussing its causes, symptoms, treatment plans, and prevention of this disease. This is my question: what exactly is depression? According to mentalhealth.net, depression was initially called as melancholia in the second millennium BC. Its historical understanding was that depression was a spiritual or mental illness rather than a physical one. And later on, in the 18th and 19th century, it was known that depression was inherited and unchangeable weakness of character. And people who were affected by this illness were shunned or locked up. And now, with the advanced technology and medicine that we all have now, it is now known that depression is a common and serious illness that negatively affects the way we think, the way we act, the way we feel. But fortunately, also be treated. Although it's not exactly known its actual causes, according to Mayo Clinic, there are some factors that play a significant role, such as imbalances or short supply of neurotransmitters, which are brain chemicals that regulate our moods, changes in body balance of hormones, especially after giving birth, but last and not least, your genetics. If your parents or grandparents, or even if you had a twin that had depression, you're more than likely to be immune to having it as well. There are also, in addition to that, there are also factors that can trigger it. They can trigger the depression, such as low self-esteem, any form of trauma, such as sexual abuse, your sexual orientation, being lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, and also certain medications like sleeping pills. There are a lot of misconceptions about what depression actually is and how it affects the body and mind. And a lot of people associate it with just feeling of sadness. Although you do feel sadness, there are also a lot more symptoms that one can have when they possess depression, such as feeling of tiredness, frustration, emptiness, losing actions and activities that you used to like, sleeping too much, or insomnia, weight gain, weight loss, lack of energy, trouble concentrating, unexplainable physical pains and back pains and headaches, and unfortunately reoccurring suicidal thoughts or attempts. And sometimes people just necessarily feel unhappy without actually knowing why, just like I did. According to World Health Organization, 300 million documented adults in the world suffer from depression. Depression can strike anyone at any given age, regardless of gender. Although women than men are diagnosed, it's simply due to the fact that women tend to seek treatment and men simply do not. Men and women both experience depression, don't get me wrong, but their symptoms are different. Men tend to hide their emotions and act angrily and aggressively, and only seek help for their physical symptoms rather than emotional symptoms. And also, unfortunately, tend to use drugs and alcohol in order for them to cope. Women are more likely to attempt suicide, but men are more likely to die from suicide because of the lethal execution. Now that I've provided you guys a clear understanding of the illness, its causes and symptoms, I'll be giving you guys the treatment plans as well. There are many different forms of medication that are effective, such as antidepressants and psychotherapy. But for those who are battling with extreme depression and have suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts, the best form of treatment is electroconvulsive therapy. I provided some basic information, knowledge of what depression actually is. I've given you guys some background information, causes, symptoms, and treatment options available for the disorder. According to National Institute of Mental Health, 50% of the population will undergo this disorder. So that means me, the average American teenager, you or any other person in the world, or even a renowned celebrity, could possibly undergo this phase in life. With that being said, hopefully the information I presented today could possibly help a friend, a family, or even yourself. Because the faster and the better informed you are, the faster you will get the help that you need. And don't forget, help is always there and it will always be hope. And action is the best antidepressant. Thank you.